there is any Democrat who could defeat Donald Trump other than you?
Probably 50 of them.
You do believe that there are?
I'm not the only one to defeat him, but I will defeat him.
Who else do you think could defeat Donald Trump, Mr. President?
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. This is the midweek report news break edition because I am off camera tonight, but we are yet live. So hopefully everybody is doing well. Please hit that like button as you are coming in. We are talking about the politician, the actress, and the policewoman. This is who we are talking about tonight. And, and we have a special guest that also ends up joining the party who actually probably will get majority of the time. So without further ado, please, as you're coming in, hit that like button and also share this out on your social media. If you would, I would greatly appreciate it. And, if you would like to subscribe to this channel, you could definitely do so by, of course, hitting that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded. And of course, you can also join this channel and become a member of this channel and support that way as well. With that being said, now let's get in to this evening. And let's see who we have in the chat. We have Devin Haley in the chat. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got Chi Chi Banana in the house. Yes, indeed. Chi Chi in the building. Yes, indeed. B1 FBA. And we got our good sister, as always, Judah Queen in the house. Black First is always my good sister. And we got the new handle in the building, Geechee Gold in the building. Welcome, welcome, Geechee Gold. Appreciate you being here as well. And we got our sister, Patricia Slade, Jersey City, in the building. Shout out to you in Jersey City. All right, hopefully y'all ain't, I don't know what the weather is doing out there, but hopefully y'all ain't getting these blizzards too tough. We didn't get nothing like that. We had the little Pineapple Express out here. But it's getting back to cold again. Sun kissed by the Most High. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, sister. Reginald Jeter in the house. Black First. In fact, Black First, I appreciate you being here as well, my good brother. And Miriam, our good sister Miriam in the building. Good to see you in the house this evening. Sister Miriam in the house. All right. Okay, so let me see. I see a few more people on the screen. I'm not seeing why your chat is not. Okay. I guess I have to wait for the chat to catch up. DSM Sinister in the building. Black First, I appreciate you being here as well. And we got our sister, Miss D at Sweet 201. I appreciate you being here as well. And we got our good sister, Yo-Yo 103, Queenin in the building. All right. Shout out to you, my good sister. And Derek Parker in the building. Black First, my brother. And we have Sister Lynette Williams in the building. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And we got Rayvon Johnson in the building. Black First, Rayvon Johnson in the building. And Yayla's Cadence in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand night, everyone. I appreciate you being here as always. We are now officially international. All right. So, as you see what we're talking about here, we're going to start on the politician. Because that is what's going on right now. Coach Bettis in the building. Black First, I appreciate you being here, my good brother. Yes, indeed. I see somebody else come in there. All right. So, of course, we're going to talk about Julianne Margulies, but first, first, let's hit this little piece of the breaking news, because as you guys know, there was a whole house explosion near DC, I believe. Was it Arlington, Virginia? And this cat blew himself up. So there was a brief press conference and kind of a little brief clip video. Check this out.
Multiple areas within the residence where the suspect was believed to be hiding. The purpose of this type of a deployment is to cause irritation in hopes of compelling the suspect to surrender. Based on the preliminary investigation of this incident, we believe that the resident of the home, James Yu, 56, of Arlington, is the involved suspect. The Arlington County Police Department does not have prior documented interactions with the suspect at this address other than 2 calls for service for loud noise over the past couple years. We are aware of concerning social media posts allegedly made by the suspect, and these will be reviewed as part of the ongoing criminal investigation. The suspect was inside the residence at the time of the explosion, and he is presumed at this point to be deceased.
Nope.
Human remains have been located at the scene, and the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner will work to positively identify the individual and determine the cause and manner of death.
Uh-huh. And from as it seems to be, this is him, James Yo. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You know, it just, you know, when people get out here and they say certain things about black people, and you know, they say these negative, oh, black people are inherently violent, and you know, it just makes me think, you know, at times like this, how's old Diane Yap taking this? How's this news hitting her? I'm sure she's pretty quiet, because you know, this is very interesting, though. I guess there'll be more to come. That comes, you know, that develops from this particular story here. But as well, they said some disturbing social media posts. Well, you know, you could kind of see where he's already kind of self-identifying himself. So clearly he was on another wavelength right now. So with that being said, here's a little reel of some social media posts from James Yo. And you know, yeah, you know, this guy seemed pretty radical. Man. Huh. Back to security breaches built in government agents spying on people. Wow. You're being lied to. Wow. This is very interesting, isn't it? Now, I'm just wondering, how's this guy communicating in the midst of? Isn't he supposed to be blown up? I don't know. You know, maybe it's just me, but boy, that timing sure doesn't seem right. I don't know. You know, what do you guys think? I mean, it looks like the timing. Yeah, those timelines ain't really adding up based on what we're seeing here. So yeah, that's going on. That's happening out there out there towards the DC area. Very interesting. Very interesting. So like I said, let's go back to the politician. So and by which politician?
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Oh, yes, indeed. Real women don't do nonsense in the building. Seems we aren't in the ails of America. Seems we aren't what ails America. Yeah. Oh Lord. So let me get to this. So as y'all know, or may or may not have heard already, that Kamala Harris has made a milestone, that she has now successfully made history and it's for the most tie-breaking votes, which, I don't know why that's something to, I don't know. Well, I've never heard of that being a big deal before, but I guess it is now. So let's check this out.
Vice President Harris has cast more tie-breaking votes than anyone in America's long and storied history. She's done a great job, and without her tie-breaking votes, we wouldn't have had the IRA, we wouldn't have had the rescue plan, we wouldn't have had so many of the good judges and appointees we've had. So no one deserves this more than she does. It is my honor to present the Golden Gavel, 32 tie-breaking votes.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. I'm honored. When I think about the tie-breaking votes that I've had the honor and pride to cast, whether it be the Inflation Reduction Act and what that has meant in terms of an historic investment in addressing the climate crisis, what it has meant in terms of capping insulin at $35 a month for our seniors, what it has meant in terms of supporting small businesses and small business owners, and of course today, what it has meant in terms of confirming now our 161st judge to the federal bench. So I'm truly honored and proud to have been able to do this, and I thank you, leadership, for your leadership.
Thank you.
And all your work.
And
as
it's
well.
very appropriate that the Vice President cast all those votes for judges, because 2/3 have been people of color and 2/3 have been women. We have moved the bench forward to look more like America under her many great tie-breaking votes.
Oh, hogwash. Oh, man. Laying it on thick. But it's the time to do it. We're moving into the election season. So, well, yeah, we are definitely moving heavy into election season, and the polls and some of these different people who are making these different surveys and polls or whatnot, they're reputable sources. These aren't just people that just throw things out and everybody just says, oh, it's nothing. Well, so they're making a very strong pivot. So again, while having to talk about gun violence, you have to make sure that this is now all of a sudden where a black face turns up. Now, she didn't spend all this time talking about climate change and Latinos and minority businesses and then taking pictures with everybody but us. Now, when it comes to guns, let's go put some melanin in the picture. Not feeling that image at all. And that's Gabby, what's her name? Gabby Gifford. That's the lady that got shot in Arizona by, one of those crazy whacked out people that of her community that, took that violent act upon her. Yeah, kind of is what it is, but oh well. So anyway, there we go. I see some folks that came into the house. Let's see here. We got Phantom Beat in the house. All right. Phantom Beat in the house. Good evening. Gavel, I thought she was gonna get a plunger. I'll say. Tori and Rain Reloaded. Black First. What's going on, my good brother? Yes, indeed. Patricia says, say good night, Kamala. C. Terry in the house. Good to see you this evening, C. Terry. Appreciate you for being here. Welcome. Ouch. All right. So let's see where we're going now. Let's get to and they were really making a big deal out of that too. Because look at this. This is what they put up. So, in the midst of just a ton of nothing burgers, you're gonna parade her out here. Oh, she's really done something today. She's got a gavel. She's got a golden gavel now, and she made history for banging the gavel. Are you kidding? I guess. So you give her a little golden gavel and it makes, oh man, we have made history. Wow. Doesn't take much to impress. But obviously. But before we move on, because we already kind of touched on her the other day. But she did spend a lot of time doing her little tours talking to so-called youth, and how they're presenting it is that she is galvanizing the youth for climate, of course. So yeah, they're going to try to make a very strong pivot towards climate, which of course we have been warning you about for a long time. That they were always going to try to make the pivot to climate. And that's like since 2020.
I'm sure there are many small business owners and leaders here, and I thank you, and I recognized you. Our small business owners and leaders are not only leaders in business, you are civic leaders, you are community leaders, you mentor, you hire locally, you encourage entrepreneurship and innovation. And it's part of then not only the economic fabric of our communities, it's part of the cultural and civic fabric of our communities. And over half of America's workforce works for or owns a small business. So when we're talking about investing in small businesses, it is about an investment overall in the economic strength of our nation.
Saying so many words while saying absolutely nothing. Now, talking about small businesses, this, that, and the other, yakety yak, right? Now, also, she got out there the other day. What I showed y'all the other day when she was talking to Latinos and then pivot to minority talking point again. And then when you see her in the picture, there are no Black folks even remotely close or near anywhere talking about getting that money. All the people who was present that was going to get some change didn't look like us and all identify as non-Black on paper. So let's be clear. But in the meantime, the Democrats are going to shoot you some money for stuff like this.
It's your girl Keeks, and self-help is looking a lot of ways these days, okay? From working out to eating healthy to serving looks, but overall just prioritizing my health, okay? That means I'm doing all the things, okay? Like seeing my doctor and getting this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. That is why I'm reminding you guys to go and ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn everything you can, okay? I know that COVID-19 may seem like a thing of the past, but it's still out there.
Goodness. Just the foolishness of it all. I mean, good grief. The foolishness of it all. Oh, yeah. You know what? I guess we'll go here right now. Speaking of foolish. Yeah. So we're kind of going to be getting on we're going to make some quick hops here because there's some stuff I want to spend a little bit of time on. And we can go in on Kamala all night. But that can wait for another day because she ain't going nowhere. However, there are some other things that have popped up and it's going to be Shillapalooza here. Very heavy, very, very, very heavy. But also, what you're going to see is a bunch of non-Black people coming out here trying to interject themselves into some kind of conversation about reparations, because clearly, as you show that the black, especially this black male voice and these strong black voice sisters, as you're witnessing this kind of be the norm, and it's starting to be the new norm, you got to do something about that. And so you're gonna have these folks jumping out the window. Dark-skinned brother, a member. Yes, indeed. Shout out to you, my good brother. Always, renewing that membership. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on you and yours, brother. I always appreciate that. Antithesis in the house. Black first from Valdosta. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Member of 10 months. Yeah, remember 10 months, man. So, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the support. And who did I see? I saw somebody coming here. Yes, indeed. Isaac Holloway in the house. Isaac Holloway in the house. Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate that. And, okay, all righty. Yes, Black women stand up in the house. Thank you for being here. Black first, as always. We got Dominique Devereaux in the house. I appreciate you for being here this evening, my brother. All right, so let me get back to where we were going. Okay, so yeah. Dealing with these non-melanated individuals who are going to try to find their way into some kind of conversation about our business. Check this out.
She says that this book talks about how...
Wrong one. My bad.
So once again, I have to help you learn the history that the American government failed to teach you. So there were white slaves in America. You should look at my other TikToks, and I've done extensive history on that. White slaves. Ooh, white slaves. Oh, the white slave. Oh, read that title. Oh, white.
Nah, that's that AI voice stuff. The AI voicing thing. That's all that is. Yeah, that's the AI voiceover type thing. Now, this woman actually got some kind of weird accent. A very weird accent. Check this out.
Evidence there were more white, Irish, Scottish, and poor British slaves in America during the 1800s than there were African.
Oh my goodness, ma'am, you are so wrong. And why did you lie to people like that? She actually has a follow-up video where she shows those books. Let's look at them together. She says this is a pamphlet about white slavery in 1805. So let's look up the term white slave. The term white slave is a dated term for trafficking. How come they didn't name it chattel slavery? Or is that part of that white slave propaganda they started pushing around 1805? She said the book is very thin because it only provides data. That's false in 4K, man. It talks about the political prisoners. As you can see, those prisoners were sold auction style for various terms of years. This book right here has nothing to do with slavery in any manner. Ma'am, do you know who David Dobson is? Scottish and Irish genealogy legend. He would never. He's doing what I'm doing, but for his people.
But, there's even more of a response. Check this out.
She says that this book talks about how there were 30,000 Irish slaves throughout Maryland. First off, if you want to find this book on Amazon, make sure to type in White Servitude in the Colony of Virginia, a study of the system of indentured labor in the American colonies. And when you get there, scroll on down and learn more about the book. This book has everything what was needed for them to gain their freedom. The first class of indentured servants who signed those contracts voluntarily. The majority of indentured servants were of this class. Then they talk about the second class that gets here, but nothing about slavery. This is the next book. This is a book of fiction. This not only a book of fiction, but damn near fantasy. It is literal fiction. And the book isn't even about this. Now, this is where she tried to get real slick. She shows this book cover, right? Then she said, this is just the publisher of the book. Do you know who this woman is? This is Harriet Beecher Stowe, an abolitionist who's best known for her novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin. You said she published this, but then you show Uncle Tom's Cabin. Come on. Try to speed this up. This book right here by Clifford G. Rowe, anti-immigration, very racist, and it talks about the lives of S workers and S trafficking. Also the economic relationship between black and white men. Ooh, you show Michael H. Hoffman book. If you don't know who he is, the Anti-Defamation League has you covered. Holocaust denier, anti-Semitic, conspiracy theorist. You and him have something in common. Can you guess what it is? I think her books must be glued shut. Don't worry, I got you on this one. Peep this. Now the thing about Clifford books, he used the term slavery as an umbrella. When he do talk about it, he's either speaking on S workers or convicts. Y'all lie.
Yeah. That's heavy. That is heavy. So, we're going to have all type of weirdos hopping out the window. And that is something to be expected because, again, as a lot of people get used to seeing a lot of people paying attention and seeing the powers that be, and politicians having to take notice to what the people are saying, you're going to see more of this. You better believe it. Yeah, they lie on Theo on their own history just to undermine ours. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Torian Ray. Yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. And this is the thing. We were already ready for them because we knew this was coming. Now moving on from that weirdo, and continuing on with the conversation this evening, this actress. Now, we talked about, I played a little bit of that on the last broadcast, the Juliana, what the hell is that? How do you pronounce her last name? Margulies. And she had to backpedal a little bit. Rightfully so, because she never should have said the mess she said. And again, that's why she is also representing the clown. And, the one in the middle goes without saying. And then, of course, the one on the left is the Policewoman. They are all going to the circus. They're all going to the circus. And maybe they might bring a friend. But anyway, getting to this Julianne, you heard, we must have been brainwashed to hate the brainwashed to hate the Jews. It's like, if you don't stop. So this is from The Hill. It says, actress Juliana Margulies apologized Friday for recently claiming black people were, quote, brainwashed to hate Jews, unquote. And here's another quote by her. I am horrified by the fact that statements I made on a recent podcast offended the black and LGBTQIA plus communities I truly love and respect. I just want to be 100% clear. Racism, homophobia, sexism, or any prejudice against anyone's personal beliefs or identity are abhorrent to me, full stop. Throughout my career, I have worked tirelessly to combat hate of all kinds. In anti-Semitism, speak out against terrorist groups like Hamas, and forge a united front against discrimination. I did not intend for my words to sow further division. for which I am sincerely apologetic. Lord. Now, of course, it goes on to say how she was kind of went in on them, the Black Lesbian Organization, which, if you saw the Moment of Truth by Professor Black Truth on this particular woman, you saw how he broke down, he fact checked her little story. So, she was embellishing in the first place. Well, I'm sorry. No, she was just lying in the first place. And so now she has to walk it all back because she had to lie to prove her point. A, you're black, and B, you're gay. Yeah. You're lower than me. You said that very comfortably and free, ma'am. No one made you do anything like that. Margulies' apology follows similar remarks from fellow actress Susan Sarandon, who said she regrets diminishing the history of anti-Semitism during remarks at a recent pro-Palestine rally. Recently, I attended a rally. Wait, hold on. Now, you see how they just did that? Wow. Boy, you can't even write an article about somebody apologizing to black folks without somehow shoehorning this in. So yeah, it's almost like Susan Sarandon's situation, where for diminishing for the history of anti-Semitism. Yeah, it's almost like that. Man, don't you see? It's almost like that. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just like, as I'm reading, like, wait a minute. Why am I now talking about a whole nother group? I'm confused. What happened here? How did we take such a detour so fast? Oh, so yeah, she's talking about how she went to the thing, ceasefire. Yeah, okay. The Hollywood star caught the video last month claiming that lots of people are afraid of being Jewish at this time and are getting a taste of what it feels like to be a Muslim in this country. So often objected to violence. What? Okay. During a protest in New York City related to the ongoing war between Israel and Palestine, militant group Hamas. Oh, I guess that's where the beef, or what that was the end. Okay. Oh, okay, I see. That's where the video. Okay, I'm not looking at the video, so it actually described the video that's not playing, but whatever. So that's the end of that article. And take that apology with a grain of salt, because that's how it happens. Because what's going on right now in the world of real is that these people are finding out that they can't just be disrespectful to us like they are so used to doing. That's a large part of, I think, the part of the problem why they keep always calling out like, "Hey, why aren't you guys doing anything? Why aren't you guys like? We are not your security guards." That's almost how they talk to us. Like there's somebody in my on my X page today trying to, yeah, we stood with you guys in the civil rights, and there were two guys that died with the black guy, and man, okay, yeah, I got it. 50 years. And so I asked this person, you mentioned two people from over 50 years ago. Why did y'all fall off? And his response is that, I guess, like when they perceive we got civil rights, then all was well and racism was over with. And that is so far from reality and ain't funny. But however, that's, that is some of the nonsense that's out here. And those are the talking points of like a Tommy Lauren or just some of these especially these bootlicking shine tethers that they got, the right wing tethers that they always be putting out here. They just talk stupid because they just get up and start lying, start talking about history that never happened. Oh man, no, that's not part of history anywhere, a world or American. But you know how these people just be making stuff up. So, talk about making stuff up. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Still have that in there. Yeah. So, moving on from this, back the over the hill back, and that's funny. The article I just read was by the hill. Article by the hill for an actress who is over the hill, a suspected white supremacist actress that's over the hill at that. Now she gave the good, I always stood, I got a black friend, my best friend Bonquisha. I mean, come on now. I got the Luther Vandross box set. Oh my Lord. Oh man. So family, moving from Hollywood to Alabama. We gotta go to Alabama. Because this here just don't make no sense. Now I'm sure that y'all have heard some of this story about this brother getting tased, or because some people thought it was a skit. I wasn't certain if it was real at first or not. I'd almost thought it was a skit. But come to find out, no, it ain't no skit. It ain't no skit. So I found that, wow, the hell is going on out there in Alabama? And just thinking, it's Alabama. I have to wonder what type of energy are these people feeling out there in Alabama after that riverboat reckoning, regulating that went down out there a few months back. I wonder if they still ain't rolling around salty looking for a soft target, because this right here is just so super duper strange.
Stand up. Right there on the front of the car. Straight.
I ain't doing bro. I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, what you saying, oh, yeah, fuck. I'm not, oh, my God. Okay. Down. Oh, my fuck. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You want it again?
No, man.
Shut the you was big and bad. Shut your
Yeah. Uh-huh. So let's get into this article here. White Alabama cop Dana Elmore suspended after using stun gun on handcuffed black man. Wow. It says a white female police officer named Dana Elmore with the Reform Police Department was suspended for using a stun gun on a handcuffed man, and the disturbing incident was caught on camera. In the clip, the unidentified cop in Pickens County was filmed on December 2nd berating 24-year-old Michael Washington, a black man following his arrest, on trafficking fentanyl charges. The video shows Washington pinned against the hood of a police cruiser during a traffic stop. The two exchange words, at which point the man responds, I ain't doing nothing, bro. I got a gun right there. So he told her where it was. As soon as the now suspended Officer Elmore pulled the gun from his pocket, she immediately deployed the stun gun on his back, which okay, so it's showing the clip. Wow. Now I gotta show y'all. This. As this woman is just looking way too happy. This woman is way too happy. Look at this woman here. She is just giddy as can be. Those hands are there. Yeah, just giddy as can be. Oh, yeah. Oh, too bad I didn't pull my gun by mistake. Because don't you know? I mean, he could have easily be that mistake. Oh, I thought I pulled my taser. And she way too happy with it. So, Psycho. Let's see where we at. Do you want it again? Shut your bitch ass up. The officer Elmore tells the man as he cries out in pain. She tased him in the back, and she was holding it. She was just holding it there until he started crying, says Jalexis Rice, Washington's girlfriend. Reform Police Chief Richard Black and the Mayor Davis released joint statements in response to the viral video. The Reform Police Department is aware of the video circulating involving a citizen's arrest on December 2nd. Per TMZ, the statement continued, the department is in the process of turning over all materials related to this arrest to the Alabama State Bureau of Investigations and has requested a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the arrest by city policy. The officer involved has been placed on administrative leave while the investigation is conducted. So they're still getting paid after all of that ridiculous madness. Okay. So right here. I guess there was a protest out there. So it says protesters gathered near Reform City Hall on Monday night to protest the arrest and call for accountability. I wonder who they called. You know what I'm saying? I just wonder who they called. And I'm surprised there was not really no video of that. That's really strange. Very strange. But anyway. And she's so super proud. So super proud. Let me take just, a moment to give this piece of crap her moment to shine. I mean, and how many people would tell us that we are wrong for saying, hey, man, these people, we need a anti-black hate crime bill, and we need it from sadistic psycho cops like this. And where's that police reform bill? Because, this kind of seems like one of those moments where that would be absolutely helpful. You know what I'm saying? Some punishment for her behavior would probably be a little bit more of something to do. However, we have a lot of people that say, well, you talk that crazy talk, getting rid of the police officer. And you have a whole Joe Biden that said, what? He going to have a police reform committee, a White House one at that. And then as soon as he gets elected, turned on a dime and flipped and turned that to Congress. And that away that went. So, no. So Miss Dana. And all of you blue no matter who supporters, I think y'all all should just join in along with all of you Kamala Harris supporters as well. And any black person that's saying, Julianne Margulies ain't that bad, I think y'all need to join in and do their dance. That good old Biden ball bounce.
Hey!
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
All right. So we are going to get to the other piece of the evening that I wanted to touch on. Oh, but first, there's a couple things I want to hit real quick before I get into these longer clips. Y'all remember Derek Chauvin got jimmied up, right? Now there's there was an interview from one of these guys. I guess he was an undercover agent in one of the Mexican cartel or gangs or whatnot, and they had him on TV to kind of weigh in on what he thought about what they are saying about the whole Derek Chauvin thing, and well, he didn't quite buy it. I'm not mad at that either. Just waiting for this to play here.
So did you have any understanding that he was some sort of BLM supporter? Because that was the justification for the motive.
No, sir. I can tell you for a fact, contrary to that, I kind of laughed when I saw two things. I saw that he had allegedly stated that one of his motives or reasons was to support Black Lives Matter and also to commemorate the Black Hand, which is the official tattoo of the Mexican Mafia prison gang. Well, first of all, he, like many Mexican Mafia members, were anti-Black. That was part and parcel of who he was as a bad guy, as a gang member. And records will reflect that. Number two, he cannot reflect that. Number two, anti-Black. Well, he, like many Mexican Mafia members, were anti-Black.
That's one we don't hear too often out there in the wind now, do we? Yeah, what did he say again?
Mafia prison gang. Well, first of all, he, like many Mexican Mafia members, were anti-Black. That was part and parcel of who he was as a bad guy, as a gang.
So their whole gang, what he's telling you is their gang is based and steeped in anti-Blackness. That's the order of the day with their gang. You see? So much for the black and brown thing, I mean, we've been done away with that a long time ago. But for those who are confused why we are not down with no minority coalition, because you can have these folks, who you think coming over here with these people? They come over here from other countries too with these negative attitudes against us. And that ain't what we need coming in this country, especially unchecked and illegal. Now, here's another little sound bit I want to play for you. this is from 60 Minutes. And this is one of those writers that they, one of these, he's from the that community that's having issues over there in their land. Well, depending on who you speak of, it might be our land, but or should be. What's going on over there in the conflict and us not speaking. Well, we get thrown in once again for no reason. We get lumped into like everybody's conversation. Well, man, it's almost like being black. No, it's not. But nonetheless, let's hear some more. This. I'm not sure what this guy's name is. Don't really care.
University just thinks this will just quiet down. But we've been there before. Hatred doesn't disappear.
Shai Davidai is an assistant professor of management at the Columbia Business School who grew up in Israel. He says he was shocked to his core by the Hamas atrocities on October 7th, and then by what he saw as the university's failure to condemn the perpetrators by name.
Why do you think that is? I think it's a mixture of cowardice, and part of it is callousness.
Davidai's frustration erupted 2 weeks after the attack in a video that went viral.
President Minouche Shafik of Columbia University, you are a coward.
Now, for those who don't know, I believe, isn't that president, was it Columbia? Or is that, who was that I'm thinking of? It's either Columbia or Harvard got a black lesbian dean. Somebody in the chat. Who is that? Which school out there is it with the black woman president? Maybe it's Harvard. So maybe I'm getting my high price legacy admission schools confused.
Can the university do at this time? If you support Hamas, you should not be allowed to be an organization on campus.
Universities, colleges are supposed to be
bastions of free speech. Is this not a free speech issue? So, is a student organization celebrating a lynching of an African-American male free speech? Is a student organization celebrating a lynching of an African-American male free speech?
That makes no sense.
Is a student organization celebrating a lynching of an African-American male?
Is it free speech? Well, why goodness. There's so many mediums in America that would tell you yes. Because it happens. Candace Owens, or was he Reddit, and the 4chans and storm fronts, and all of these 40 followers or 13 follower accounts on X. Man, what if that was? See, that's projecting the idea of a false, like that's a false idea that we're getting some kind of protection that nobody else is getting, and that's absolutely false. And so would it be? And you just throwing what black folks got to do with your issue? Forever on somebody's mind. Forever on somebody's mind. And these folks just will not leave us alone. Now, oh yeah, here let's. I'm glad, like I said, I'm gonna start making me some intros. Real quick before I get. Oh no, we ain't got. Yeah, I do that. I got a real quick second. We are one of our frequent contributors here to the channel, Dr. Fairy Oddface, has brought some more condescending sounds out here to make sure that we know how stupid we are, especially as black men, because we are very low and shallow minded and feeble minded. So we need people like this to tell us all the things that we don't know through their TikTok. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. Let me run it back. Okay. My bad.
Good morning. So, I wanted to do a follow up video regarding the issues that Black men face when it comes to the Democratic Party and galvanizing the Black men vote. Um, I feel like, based on the comments that I have gotten across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, um, there are some valid points, and then there are some known points that kind of cause me pause. So I'll go into that. So the ones that are valid, I really agree with the fact that there is not a Black man face that represents Black men when it comes to this administration. Like, there are Black women, and I am grateful. It took a while for us to even get to this point that Black women actually have representation. I think that Black men also need to have that form of representation.
Now, let me kind of jump in there. She's talking about Black men need representation. We don't mean representation as a black face in a high place. That is not at all what we mean. And she's definitely giving off that's the understanding. Well, she's trying to give off that's the understanding she's taking from we need representation, because we are not looking for any black politicians, especially the ones that's already there. You're not having, because we fully are well aware that a Hakeem Jeffries exists. We know Cory Booker exists. We know the Congressional Black Caucus exists. And we're saying nobody is having any type of interest in dealing with black men as a voter block and part of that voter base, which is half of that base. So it seems to me like, if you want to, it wasn't us that decided to boost one side over the other. You wanted a gender divide. Well, again, what they say, houses, you're going to build your house on sand then, because the foundation that you wanted, you split in the first place. You can't split your foundation and then expect for that to be solid enough for you to stand on. Pretty sure that's what took place with black men ain't this and black men ain't that and black women are the culture, because we got to remember, ladies, it's okay to take the cape off.
That shows that someone cares about their issues. Like, they really want face value. As far as their issues, I did not get specifics. So is it healthcare? Is it economics? Is it policing? Is it education? What are the issues that black men are facing? That
Now, here's the interesting part when the person like this does stuff like that. Okay, so you know so much. You're so well educated, so well learned. You fully understand civics. Well, interestingly enough, as much as you talk to men or talk at men, you're now saying you don't know what problems men face. And when I say men, I mean black men. You have no clue but yet you're always talking against black. So maybe there's one dynamic you can identify personally yourself, but on a mass scheme of it, we've had an entire Democratic Party pushing a line to where black men were basically expendable, useless, being looked at as less than everything, being the target of all kinds of odd propaganda by so-called other melanated folks that don't have our lineage's best interests at heart. The Root and all these other publications that would put out garbage that these people don't even understand our history, and they always trying to speak on what we don't need or what we stuff like that. That's the kind of crap I don't like Coleman Hughes. But nonetheless, let's finish out with her.
That they don't want ignored. And that's something that I did not really see in my comment section or any videos that may have been stitched or duetted.
I know you've seen reparations, and I know you've seen an anti-hate crime bill. Those two things right off the rip, I know good and doggone well you've seen, woman. And if you acting like you didn't, you're lying.
I did not see that. And I would like to know.
BS.
So that if we have an administration that we need to have speaking to our issues, they need to know what those issues are. But if they don't know, how can they speak to them? Now, the overarching theme from the comments that I've gotten is that black men are tired of hearing about black women's issues. How, Sway?
That is not. No. See, now that is a manufactured argument of propaganda. Because, quite frankly, it's that hard to find black men what black males' issues are out here and what could be beneficial towards black. I mean, get out of here. This woman is really trying it, Charles. She's really, really trying it.
Like, we are trying to get our issues addressed. We're trying to figure out your issues. We don't really have a clear understanding of what those issues are, but you're tired of hearing about black women's issues. And that's a concern, because it should not be one or the other. It should be both and
oh, like Plan for America? Ice Cube's Black Plan for America? Yeah, that where I don't see anything here for the black woman. I mean, what about the black woman? And you don't have nothing plan for the black woman. It's the Black Plan for America. But I don't see nothing for the black woman. I mean, I don't see what's happening.
Now it sounds like some of these black men are wanting to demote the issues of black women, and that's scary.
Demote the issues of the black woman. Demote the issues. You got that from what? See, that's the thing about people like this. When you start lying like that, that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Oh, okay. Let me see. Is this the other one? Oh, boy, this chick is bugged out. Okay.
Hold on. I am going to correct myself on a previous video that I made. So previously, I talked about how black men are saying that they are lacking representation through the Biden administration.
Listen to where she's
But
about
hold
to.
on, because a little bit of doing your Googles will correct you. Let's do this. When you go to Democrats.org, the head of the DNC chair is a black man, Jamie Harrison. The DNC senior advisor is Congressman Cedric Richmond. I have thought.
Well, first off, I remember, wasn't this guy just at one of those meetings recently that he tried to avoid talking about black issues in that particular meeting? And didn't they end up leaving? if my memory serves me correct. I mean, if my memory serves me correct, I believe I actually played that video on this broadcast. But man, maybe my memory's bad. I don't know, but okay. So Jamie Harrison, woohoo! He's the dead of the DNC. Are you kidding? Like Michael Steele and Herman, was it Herman Cain? Was over the RNC? Herman Cain up there. Oh yeah, let me go out here and get to this super spreader event with all of these non-hand washers. And that didn't work out for him, and that's Republican coon. But this is just a Democratic coon, but a coon nonetheless.
Of the DNC chair is a black man, Jamie Harrison. The DNC senior advisor is Congressman Cedric Richmond.
Okay.
I have thoughts, but I'm going to hold them. The House Democratic leader
Frankenstein.
is Hakeem Jeffries.
I want to be speaker. I could be speaker. I don't look like Frankenstein. No. I can speak for the people. It's the American interest. I mean, oh my Lord. Are you kidding? and we're gonna get the American dollar back to something, because it's nothing right now. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna trust in Joe Biden all the way to the White House. Oh my Lord, this dude.
Hakeem Jeffries.
No.
The administrator for the Environmental Protection Agency is Michael S. Reagan. But I thought they said there was no black man representation. And that was my fault for not doing my Googles first. And just
Yo, Googles? We don't give a... Them men don't represent us. I mean, there ain't no representation. We know these people exist. They do not represent our interests. See, and she's purposely doing that, but she's playing for a certain audience. So, like I was saying on the last broadcast about how they are using TikTok, and they're using TikTok and so again, prime example, one person starts an basically a argument or a beef, and then here's this person, as they're boosting their profile, or as the powers that be or system, whatever, is boosting their profile, then they got something to piggyback or bounce and leap off of to get all of these Democratic Shield talking points off. And that's all she really does. Oh man, I just Googled this because we are all too stupid, because and ain't none of us ever heard of any black politicians before, because we just been sleeping in a cave or a barn, or we just never even left the plantation. I mean, our noses, it's been so many years since the slave masters done said we was free, but I would just stay here. I mean, she is talking to black folks like how they portrayed black slaves on TV. This is how on movies. And yes, the bones.
just going off of what the people have been saying in my comment section. So I stand corrected. Now let's go see who the Republicans got representing black men. Let's get to know their national leadership.
Now, this is the false, again, what she's doing. Let's go look at the Republicans. Where are the independents, man? Because, again, we know what the Republicans are. The argument about, well, what about the Republicans? That would be some kind of argument with weight on it if both parties were relative the same when it comes down to how they express their views. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you have a lot of these people who will, of course, on the left, they're the nice supremacists. Well, the right-wing RNC types, MAGA types. Well, I wouldn't even say MAGA types. I don't like to call them MAGA types because they've always been there. Like, Trump did not galvanize anything other than what was already there. He didn't change them into something. That's how these people always try to portray it. And unfortunately, Black folks have been so happy and so content with keeping their head in the sand, not seeing how certain people's get downs really are for themselves. And now it's hard for them to even deal with the reality that, yeah, your friend is like that. Or who you was trying to impress is like that. It's no different. So, let it get through all of these. Of course, we know they're all white because why would there be any ones? Except, of course, for Clarence Thomas. But again, well, who's checking for Clarence Thomas? He's not representing us. I mean, he's a former, there he is, with Black Panthers and whatnot. I mean, so there's that.
So, I mean, the GOP has Clarence Thomas. That's all we got. That's all we got for real leadership.
Leadership. Nobody was ever looking to them for leadership in the first place. I mean, they are politicians that were already bought and paid for. That's like, and we're going to go back to your faith leaders. It's like, oh, God. But here, there's one more that really stuck out with me. Mainly because also, I always look for connections. Y'all know me. I look for the connections. And, sometimes you right and sometimes you right. So here's a little bit of tandem shilling. And maybe it's a little chilly in there where he's at. He got a do-rag on. I mean, I don't know where he's going, and he got looks like a turtleneck sweater on. And or maybe it's one of them turtleneck tunics. And he he about to go make him some TikToks. Like this one here. And he I guess he's making the call, putting out the call for the Democrats. And yeah, the rest goes like this.
This ain't the time to be timid, Democrats. Square the hell up.
Okay, friend, I agree with you. I'll raise you one though. I believe the Biden-Harris administration, the Democrats at the state and federal level need to start putting out PSA videos every week or monthly if it calls for it. But you need to make that video short, 3 minutes or less, so that people can process the information that they're receiving. In some cases, you need to make sure that it is filled up pretty pictures and little words so that they can process that same information. Because remember, the majority of American adults at 54% read at a 6th grade level, and that's exactly the way that you need to administer that information.
Now, this is what really bothers me about people like this. Because you're trying to talk about Black folks as if, oh, well, people read on a 6th grade level. Yeah, but even if that was true, does that mean they comprehend on the same level? I mean, she over here like, hey, what you need to do is you just need to treat them like children and treat them like slow children. What is going on here? And this is the strategy from these people to always make sure that you are the most condescending to the ones you are needing to be your base. and who have in years past and eons past have always consistently have represented your base. But now, oh, you're just so stupid, man, just new generation, your brains are just so soft and you don't understand civics and you don't know this and you don't know that. And well, now we're just going to make it elementary for you and make it like a coloring book and write pretty pictures. Are you kidding? I mean, this is why y'all are losing. Black folks, I have to assume a lot of these people got to be tethers. Because this type of stuff, they really think their education is like law. And so I have to think they don't have no roots here. You cannot have roots here talking like this. That just does not make sense. And then on top of that, I'm not sure what bloodline she coming from. I don't know. Nobody look like this.
Now, there are some of us who will go to whitehouse.gov, congress.gov, or go to the Supreme Court website and look up what is actually happening. But that is a privilege to be able to read above a 6th grade level and do that actual research. And
now, see, when you doing that, this is what just screams tether to me. Because who could read in slavery? During slavery, there were mainly not allowed to read, but yet we're still building things and creating things. And so it doesn't stand to be reasonable to always act like there's only education by way of the system that they have established that will validate you. So she probably frowns on independent Black schools, homeschooling. I mean, because for her, if it don't have them folks stamp on it, then it ain't no good. That's almost how she's coming off. And that is extremely tetherish.
we know that the GOP does a phenomenal job at getting to their base who is not so bright, but will hang on to their every word. So that
yeah. And, that's funny. Because now you're going to say who the GOP is going for. Their people ain't so bright. Well, I don't know. Who's their people? Why don't you make it a little more plain for me, colorful story? Who's the people you're talking about, sister? Are you willing to go out there on that limb and record and say exactly who the people are you talking about? Or you just going to refer to the party because you know better than to be offensive to that group out your mouth in public? Yeah, I'm catching on to that one.
the Dems need to do just that. Meet the people where they are. Spell it out for them. Let them know what you are doing. Make it a pictorial. Add a song. Get Elmo, somebody on there. Because the only real way to understand what Dems are actually doing in office right now is to put it in a video, sing a song, and spell it out. Because people refuse to read.
People refuse to read. This woman's serious? People refuse to read. What are you talking about, lady? I mean, wow. You talk about really, really having a disdain for Black folks. That is it. That is it. And then, after she get ate alive by real life, oh, well, why ain't Black folks coming to my rescue? Hey, we too stupid. I couldn't read the instructions on how to help you. I mean, just nonstop insult. And speaking of insult, before I go to this, these last few clips here, I'm I'll make a quick pivot, but I found this to be very interesting. Who remembers the whole cheesecake factory debacle? Who remembers that? All right. Well, there's an update, and I didn't realize like she was one of them like mukbang chicks or whatever, or at least that's how she eats. But see, class isn't just about getting your edges laid. Class is deeper than that, ma'am. Let's just check it out.
I don't want to get to know nobody on no low budget. That's what I'm getting to know about you, that you're cheap, okay? I don't want to be with no cheap man. I want to be with a man that got it. And I want to be with a man that don't have no problem spending it. So again, do not take me to the Cheesecake Factory on no first date.
She said she doesn't need a Cheesecake Factory, so I took her to a 5-star restaurant, and she did this.
She belongs to the street.
And yo, what is going on there, man? Yeah, what's happening right there? What is going on, man? I mean, she just up there just. I mean, this is insane. Who's doing this? I mean, you got that lack of etiquette? Really? Okay. This just is not okay. And I mean, I've seen a video today where this woman was talking about how you need, if you flirting with her in the checkout line in the store, if you flirting with her in the store, you need to buy her groceries. Like, what are you talking about? He's flirting with you, so he finna buy your groceries? In what world are these people coming from? I'm confused. Is oh yeah, so you ain't gonna. I don't want to know that. I want to know that you're not cheap. Cheap? Shit, I want to know that you're not cheap. Don't that go both ways? Take me on the first day. Yeah, okay. Don't take me to no cheesecake factory. Take me to a 5-star 5-diamond restaurant. So I can put on my. Okay, even more so though. I mean, I'm just saying, man. Word. With them wispy eyelashes, that's a skit. I sure in the hell hope so. What? So was the Cheesecake Factory thing a skit too? Is that what's going on? Because I just kept seeing it. I didn't really, get into. I knew a lot of people had that conversation. I mean, this is not a hot look, though. This is not a hot look at all. Hey, what's going on, man? Are you all right? like I said, them eyelashes is a beast. I mean, them look like diving boards on her eyes. Oh, ladies, that is not all that cute. Let me just tell you, like the big diving board lashes, and I mean that ain't even like, it doesn't look natural. That looks glued. But hey, what do I know? Oh, yeah. Now I know. I'll show you here. So y'all know that we talked about this last week as well. That it was World AIDS Day, and they got some congresswoman trying to make World AIDS make Rosa Parks Day, December 1st, which is World AIDS Day, and she wants to make that a federal holiday. So what we would now have tied in with Rosa Parks would be AIDS. And that's what they're pushing. Don't believe me? See for yourself.
You know, Rev, Friday was the 68th anniversary of Rosa Parks' arrest, and her peaceful resistance really sparked not only the Montgomery bus boycott, but the civil rights movement, and I dare say the human rights movement that's been global. And so I believe that she deserves her rightful place in American history, and that is to also be honored with a federal holiday. You know, there have not been a federal holiday that's been named after a woman at all. We have 11 federal holidays, and half of them are named for men and none for women. And I think that it would be befitting, especially now on the 68th anniversary, that we honor Rosa Parks with a Rosa Parks Day, a federal holiday. And so I'm excited about it. We in the Congressional Black Caucus held a press conference in which we talked about why this was so important and how this will be a priority for the CBC.
Oh, boy. It will be a priority for the CBC. Why? Why would it be a priority? Another empty holiday. So this is one thing they can fight for. Woohoo! Thanks. We're really winning with that. Oh, good Lord. So they tell us all the time what they think about us. Now, last but not least, I said we had a special guest. And our special guest, there was something that you guys probably didn't know was going on this week. Because, they talk about so many other things in the news. You might not have known that there was some hearings going on with the DOJ's Civil Rights Division. And if you know who that is Kristen Clark's division that she heads up. Who's Kristen Clark? That's the woman that was trying to backdoor the Ahmaud Arbery family for trying to get to making a deal with the McMichaels to get them into a better federal prison. So now she's here talking to the people in Washington, and we already understood the kind of political agenda that was going on with her when she tried to pull that mess on the Aubreys. Or I'm sorry, not on the Aubreys. On the Aubreys. But she had a very interesting testimony here today. So there's some clips I want to play. And one of the things is speaking to, because this is the Civil Rights Division, the DOJ. They always boast them with, we put Black women in these prominent roles and these prominent positions. And so let's just see what they have this Black woman they are doing.
Morning, Mr. Kiley.
I yield to the chair.
Mr. Kiley, the chair of the Judiciary Committee.
Oh, to the chair of the Judiciary Committee.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Kiley.
Thank the gentleman for yielding. Miss Clark, who's Ava Edel?
Chairman, that is not a name that I'm familiar with.
Well, I'll try to familiarize you with her. She's an 87-year-old pro-life advocate who survived a communist concentration camp in Yugoslavia after World War II that you guys have charged under the FACE Act for praying and singing in front of an abortion clinic. Is that the best use of the Justice Department's time and energy?
As noted, the FACE Act has been is a law that this body passed in response to efforts to obstruct access to reproductive health clinics, threats of violence, acts of violence. We follow the facts and apply the law without fear or favor, Chairman.
Really? I think we've heard a lot of that today about how if you're pro-life, you get the full treatment. Just ask Ava Edel, 87-year-old concentration camp survivor. But if you're on the other side after the Dobbs decision, it's a different issue. In spite of what you've said, that you apply it equally across the board. How about your decision to file a lawsuit against SpaceX? Can you talk to me about that?
Yes, Chairman.
Let me ask it this way first. Did Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter have anything to do with the Justice Department's decision to file that lawsuit against SpaceX?
The investigation into SpaceX was open during the last administration, and we filed an administrative action under the Immigration and Nationality Act, an important law passed by this body with bipartisan support and signed into law by President Reagan.
So what are you alleging that SpaceX did wrong?
In this case, we allege that the company is not compliant with the anti-discrimination provisions of the Immigration and Nationality Act. This is a law that has been—
What are they discriminating against?
Here they are discriminating against people who have received refugee and asylum status by our federal courts under the
non-citizens. What she means is non-citizens. Non-citizens aren't getting hired. Non-citizens aren't getting this. Non-citizens aren't getting that. And you know what? They are going out of their way to hire American citizens. But Joe Biden, see, you acting like he ain't done nothing. See all the black women that he done put in position? Look at that. See that sister over there at the DOJ Civil Rights Division? See, he put her off up in office. Look at what she's doing. Yeah. We watching that unfold right now.
They're discriminating against refugees and asylum seekers. Is that
no,
right?
No, Chairman, against people who have received refugee status and asylum status by our federal courts and who enjoy equal standing under federal law to U.S. citizens and naturalized citizens. The law requires equal treatment of these individuals.
And you're saying that SpaceX did not hire, is that appropriate, did not hire enough refugees or people who've been granted asylum? Is that what you're asserting in the lawsuit?
And that they discourage those people from applying for any job, whether it's for a custodial position, office clerk, someone who works in a kitchen facility, all the way up through engineering.
So you're suing, I just want to cut to the chase. You're suing SpaceX because they hired too many Americans, too many citizens, not enough people who are refugees or people who've been granted asylum.
This investigation.
And you waited to sue. This investigation started 3 years ago. I know the facts. It started 3 years ago. And yet you bring the lawsuit after Mr. Musk purchases Twitter, now X. Is that right?
And he kind of got it dead right now, don't he? I mean, good grief. And, this speaks to the real agenda of the Democratic Party. This is Joe Biden's agenda. Because, literally, listen to what the problem is. The problem is you're taking up a lawsuit for Americans working. That's insane. But again, remember, this is your boy Joe Biden.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do.
It seems to me like one of them dudes that's colorful person was talking about, I believe that's the dude in the bottom square on the right. So, yeah, talk about representation. No need to represent anybody who was on that panel. That we know they ain't going to say nothing for us. So, ain't no need to say they're representing us, because they are definitely not. Anyway, let's hear a little more.
We apply the laws that this body gave us without fear or favor.
And Mr. Musk, his assertion is that they're dealing with national security type information at SpaceX, and that's why he's even posted this before you brought the lawsuit. He said this. That's why they focus on hiring people who have a green card or are American citizens. And you guys say this is something we need to go after SpaceX because they're not hiring enough Americans, and we need to charge Ava Edel, 87-year-old concentration camp survivor. That's what the Justice Department and the Biden administration needs to do. But oh, by the way, we don't know anything about Missouri v. Biden. We didn't weigh in on the issue where a governor of a state told the citizens, they're American citizens, you cannot exercise your Second Amendment rights contrary to the law, contrary to what the Supreme Court has said. And you're trying to tell us today that the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department is not political. Frankly, I find it almost laughable that you're making that argument, because anyone with common sense and any objectivity can see you guys are definitely political. That I yield back, and I thank the gentleman who's left for yielding time.
Now, and what he just said there about being political, it makes a lot more sense, that, yeah, the DOJ is definitely political. But also, look at like New York. Look at Atlanta. In New York, you got Jonathan Majors getting, and truth be told, for those who understand anything about charges and whatnot, Jonathan Majors, this should have never went to trial. And from the evidence that's kind of been shown and from the witnesses, I wonder if at the end of this, if Jonathan Majors wouldn't have some kind of cause for suing the DA. Because the way that this is happening and some of the things that are coming out in his case, the fact that they refused to prosecute or charge or go, if this girl was charged, that they would prosecute. So they already had their intent. And then something else that they're, because I guess in court, they're cutting the sound of the officer's body cameras for when they showed up on the scene in his apartment. Because for all intents and purposes, some people say that it kind of sounded like he was doing, they was doing some coaching with that girl and trying to really get her to kind of cry victim, which, that's not unheard of, Yeah, Yeah, yo. So is this when he got upset and hauled off and hit you? I mean, did he choke you? Did he strangle you too? Right? You know how they be doing. So yeah, just let us know all this happened. All you gotta say is and yes. And then look at Young Thug's trial. And look at all that money they spending to get Young Thug. Are you kidding? YSL was that much of a menace and a long-lasting menace for you. There was no long-standing organizational crime going on in the state of Georgia, especially in her county. There's nothing going on there, huh? Yeah, I just find that one really interesting. Let's go get these rappers. Those rappers, I tell you, oh no, we gotta go get them. Now, Cori Bush was also there. And Cori Bush had a little opportunity to kind of talk to her, throw her some super duper softballs. And when I say softballs, boy, I mean, man, Cory Booker was throwing the super slow, up in the air, underhanded pitches, softballs at this woman here. And then try to give her something important to kind of, I mean, like, you know how you hand somebody a good, like, oh yeah, the black folks who might, who would kind of down on you, they might actually vibe with you if you answer this right. But this woman just doesn't have that. So things kind of turn out like they do.
Thank you. St. Louis and I are here today to continue our efforts to hold our government to its highest ideals, including equal justice under law. Assistant Attorney General Clark, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
And thank you for your career of public service in support of civil rights for all people. I was excited to see your nomination and your confirmation to this role, and I do believe that you are doing your best to advance the cause of justice inside the government. And as an activist from the Ferguson Frontline to Congress, I just want to say thank you for your work. But as I have said before many times, including to Attorney General Garland when he was here in September, I think that the department can do more to advance civil rights and the rule of law. These problems, of course, are system-wide and they predate your time at justice. So I want to ask Assistant Attorney General Clark, the Civil Rights Division handles cases that involve law enforcement misconduct and the violation of federal rights, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I strongly believe the actions of Georgia law enforcement regarding the killing of a protester named Torgy Tita and the suppression of opposition to the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, or is also known Cop City, are obvious examples of law enforcement misconduct resulting in the violation of federal rights. And I urge the Civil Rights Division to open an investigation. What's happening in Atlanta can happen anywhere in the country, and we need the DOJ to do your part in preventing that from happening.
A person she probably should have mentioned before that would be Rashard Brooks. Because his killers got let off. But I guess that really wouldn't fit the convenient narrative of the moment, because currently Fani Willis has Donald Trump on trial while also having Young Thug on trial. So see, she's knocking out two birds with one stone. Give us a sacrificial rich Negro and also get Donald Trump. And then we'll have our woman in New York get him there.
Another issue I want to follow up on is the department's enforcement of Title VI and the anti-discrimination provisions of the Safe Streets Act. This vital law makes clear that the department has an obligation to ensure the recipients of funding do not engage in discrimination like what we've seen in my district, which includes Ferguson, Missouri, and as detailed by the DOJ's 2015 pattern and practice investigation following the police killing of Michael Brown. I was glad to see the commitments that Associate Attorney General Gupta announced in June 2022 that strengthened the enforcement of the Title VI provisions, and we've had that conversation, but I have yet to see any meaningful progress by the department in implementing any of them. So do you have any updates for the committee about the department's implementation of these commitments?
If I could flag one area, Congresswoman, it would be environmental justice, where we have made historic accomplishments in using Title VI of the Civil Rights Act to stand up for communities that are beleaguered by environmental injustice problems. Houston, Texas, and Lowndes County, Alabama are two examples of places where we have, for the very first time, used Title VI to address issues that disproportionately impact Black and
You already know who was coming next. Now, with that being said, though, she did not say anything about Jackson, of course. Now, that is a gross civil rights violation. But even before you get to Jackson, Mississippi, let's talk about Flint, Michigan. So again, what is she doing there? And this is the same woman. Let's just, again, refresh your memory that this is the same woman who was trying to cut the McMichaels a deal and tried to say, ignore the family, so she could give them people a better shake at it. And that's who this person is on your screen right now. So just letting you know, their get down, man, is number one, they're literally suing SpaceX. They're suing SpaceX because SpaceX hires too many American citizens. They're not hiring enough illegals. And see, when she says went through the asylum, so what she's talking about as well as, so all of those people who got emergency, because we've already heard it. So why do you think they're suing now? Why do you think they're suing right now? Right in the midst of where they're allowing temporary work visas for the undocumented and all of this. So you want these people in a place like SpaceX. That sounds like a setup for disaster. But even more so, what a slap in the face of Black America. What a slap in the face. So you could, the civil rights, the Joe Biden's Department of Justice Civil Rights Division can find a lawsuit to file against SpaceX. You will first launch an investigation and then sue or press charges against these people because they're not hiring non-citizens. This is the Democratic agenda. For anybody to say Joe Biden didn't run on open border policies, you are out of your mind. This is this is down to the policy. This is the nitty-gritty of the policy. And look at who they're using to do it. Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. Nobody's civil rights were violated by not getting a job that they weren't entitled to in the first place. You don't have any rights. There's no civil rights because you're not a citizen. So what she's saying is the civil rights that our ancestors fought for and 2 Jewish men died for, and Bernie Sanders was at the march, that makes 3. You know, these people are something else, man. All these folks are using civil rights to get theirs. They're trying to get their bag on. And it don't matter. I mean, this is blatant. And these bootlick coons, and I'm sure she's a tether. I think I seen in the chat that she's Caribbean. In the Mix Radio said, didn't Clark close the Emmett Till case? I believe she is the one who did. I mean, man, come on now. Yeah. So, Kristen Clark, you get one of these. Sambo. Let's hear a little more of this. Boy, they like hiring these liars, don't they?
Latino communities when it comes to environmental justice.
Right. Thank you for that. One final issue I want to raise with you is conditions at local prisons and jails. I have been demanding answers about the horrific conditions at the St. Louis City Justice Center in my district, where yet another incarcerated person died this weekend. I know your team has investigated conditions at jails in South Carolina and elsewhere, and I would just love to speak with you more about this issue. We must not forget the humanity of people who are incarcerated. And in my closing, let me just say this. We know we can't prosecute our way to justice, but the Civil Rights Division is the crown jewel of the department, and for good reason. I know that there are people in the division who want to use the law to stop discrimination instead of enabling it, to stop police brutality and the suppression of legitimate protest and dissent instead of enabling it, to stop the relentless and inhumane attack on our LGBTQ communities instead of enabling it.
Whoa. Again, here's the thing. The statistics have already came out. And they keep trying to go around it. That's why you're going to keep seeing the weird pivot to climate. But then she throws the at the very last minute, and an attack against LGBTQ and trans. No. That's not really even happening right now either. Where's that in the news? You understand what I'm saying? Where is that in the news? So, yeah, Cori Bush is, one that I guess you look with. You better pay attention with both eyes. You know what I'm saying?
That is the work of the Civil Rights Division. It's what you've done, and I know it's what you'll continue to do, despite the efforts of the right-wing extremists to strip away our civil rights and make discrimination the actual law of the land.
Oh,
we won't
Lord.
let those efforts succeed. Assistant Attorney General Clark, thank you for being here, and thank you for the work that you do in support of equality and justice for all. I am your ally in this work, and I look forward to partnering with you as we continue on in our shared priorities. And in my final few seconds that I have left, plus the last one went over a little bit, so I think I have a little bit more time. If there's anything else that you would like to speak to or clear up that has been said.
Thank you, Congresswoman. People do not abandon their civil and constitutional rights at the jailhouse door. I'm glad that you brought up jail conditions. Our enforcement of the Civil Rights of Institutionalized Persons Act is an important priority for us. You noted our recent investigation opened in South Carolina. We're also investigating prison conditions in Georgia. Texas, where we're looking at juvenile detention facilities, Parchman in Mississippi, New Jersey, and more. Such an important area of enforcement for this Justice Department Civil Rights Division.
Thank you. And I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Bush. Mr. Fry.
Okay. Now, there is only one more that I want to play. And Cori Bush, that was more like a Democrat love fest right there. So, because she didn't really ask no real questions. Like I said, she threw a super duper softball. Now, okay, so so here's the other one I really, really want to, because they keep talking about these cases. And so it's real interesting, like where she's choosing to get active. And I'm using these videos to show you the political nature or showing you how they're using their political policy, what they want to put there as their policy, and how they're going about means of enforcing it. These are all the things that Biden has done and Biden is doing. When you gonna tell me about Donald Trump, for 4 years, we were never able to trace all of these things down or walk these things down that would directly affect us like this type of stuff does. And this is using literally the Civil Rights Division. This is the same division that old Diane Yap was trying to go talk to. See, our thing that we built is trying to be hijacked, and then they're trying to kick us out our own house. So yeah, check this out though, because I'm glad that they asking her some hard questions.
Sure. You don't know anything about Missouri v. Biden? You don't know anything about that case?
Thank you for the opportunity to clarify. This is a case being handled by our civil division, and I assure you, Chairman, that the Justice Department...
Have you read the opinion?
The Justice Department is compliant.
I didn't ask that. Did you read the opinion, either from the Western District of Louisiana or the Fifth Circuit opinion?
I gleaned the ruling, but it's not a Civil Rights Division case.
Well, which is it? Because first of all, when Mr. Bishop asked, you said you didn't know one darn thing about it. Now you're saying you gleaned or you glanced or what?
I appreciate the opportunity to clarify. The Civil Division is handling this case, and the department is compliant with the court's
Well, First Amendment
injunction.
rights are pretty fundamental rights. That's something you don't think the Civil Rights Division should be involved in. This is censorship.
Absolutely, Chairman. The First
But you're
Amendment
not?
is a bedrock principle of our democracy.
Let me go a little different route then. Do politics drive the decisions at the Justice Department today?
Politics have no place in the work of the Civil Rights Division.
3 months ago, the New Mexico governor announced a 30-day ban on citizens' right to carry a concealed firearm in Albuquerque and the county that Albuquerque sits in. What did the Justice Department do when the governor did that unconstitutional order? What did the DOJ do in response to that unconstitutional action from the governor of New Mexico?
I am generally aware of the matter that you are referring to, but gun control is not a core issue that we handle.
Second Amendment, a fundamental right like the First Amendment, it's pretty important, isn't it?
These are very important issues.
They are constitutional rights. So I would believe, family, don't think for a second that they wouldn't put civil rights in a gun control conversation. What are you talking about? All of a sudden now, yeah, I mean, guns is not really like a focal point. Hold on. Anytime you start talking about black folks, you always bringing up gun violence. So it's not now. It's not an issue. Guess I must have missed the memo. What about y'all? Because they sure do talk an awful lot about guns, but all of a sudden, it's not an issue in our community, I guess. Okay.
To the department.
Well, tell me what the Justice Department did when this happened, when the governor imposed this unconstitutional ban.
I'm happy to bring your question back to my colleagues.
You don't know that one either.
The criminal division and the civil division.
You don't know about Missouri v. Biden. You don't know what the DOJ did in response to the governor of New Mexico's action. Well, here's what the county sheriff said. He held a press conference saying that this thing was unconstitutional, unenforceable, and incapable of stopping and curbing gun violence. The New Mexico Attorney General, who's a Democrat, said this thing will not have any impact on public safety and does not pass constitutional muster. So when the Democrat Attorney General of New Mexico said it doesn't fit the Constitution, but you guys at DOJ don't do a darn thing? Is that what you're telling me?
Politics have no place in the work of the Justice Department, Chairman, but
that's an odd way to lead in. That's an odd way to lead your answer. Well, politics has nothing to do with the way. Okay. Not like he alluded to that, but so you literally lead with that? Oh, man. I think you just walked into Billy's trap. And you supposed to be the DOJ. Boy, tell you how these folks be coming over here, man. They coming over here like, oh, well, hey, this is just the way things are, and that's Eddie, and, I'm not going to just talk out of turn, so, I'm just going to be obedient. I'm not going to be sassy. And,
But you guys at DOJ don't do a darn thing? Is
not
that what you're telling me?
Politics have no place in the work of the Justice Department chairman, but
Are you aware of anything the Justice Department did to that unconstitutional order from the governor of New Mexico?
not in the Civil Rights Division, Chairman, but I can certainly
Broader,
bring
you're
your
an important person in the Justice Department. Did the Justice Department do anything?
Yes, we enforce the laws that Congress gave us, Chairman.
No, in this case, did the Justice Department do anything?
I will bring that question back.
I'll give you the answer. They didn't. They didn't follow an amicus. They didn't.
See how, okay, she didn't even, by now, she had stopped listening, so she didn't even hear the fact of how he worded his question. She already had her ready-made answers, and the way he set his question up already talked past it. That's why, no, I didn't ask you about that. So that's how she doesn't understand. It's not that she doesn't understand, but she already got them ready-made answers. And now she has to immediately pivot from the lies she was already fixing to tell.
Put any statement of interest. They didn't do a darn thing. Which gets back to the point I think Mr. McClintock was making earlier. It shows, I think, how political you are, because when Texas passed a pro-life bill on September 1st, 2021, 8 days later, the Department of Justice announces an investigation into that bill. Now, this is what amazes me. That's a bill that actually passed the state House, passed the state Senate, was signed by the governor, and you guys are in there contesting that 8 days later. But you have something in New Mexico, which is an obvious direct assault on the Second Amendment, and it's an order from the governor. It didn't go through the legislature. The governor does it, and the Department of Justice does nothing.
The Civil Rights Division is deeply committed to enforcing the laws that this body gave us and committed to standing up for the civil rights of all Americans, Chairman.
Well, you can say it, but based on some of your other answers, not knowing the first thing about Missouri v. Biden, not knowing what, if anything, was done, because nothing was actually done relative to the governor's unconstitutional order regarding New Mexico citizens and residents and Americans' Second Amendment rights. This is why we're so darn concerned. I appreciate the chairman having this hearing. With that, I got 38 seconds. I'd be happy to yield to the gentleman from Arizona.
And, that is pretty much what I wanted to get to. And so it speaks to a very interesting agenda. And we're seeing how far up the shilling goes. It goes all the way up to being the top person at the Civil Rights Division of the DOJ. That's no lightweight thing. You understand what I'm saying? That is not lightweight at all. And she's showing us for real what the real agenda is. And, man, they had no shame in letting you know it's about some other groups. Oh, but real quick, before we go, let me get something in here because I want y'all to hear something. I'm going to play the audio of this. I think this is it. Because we gotta, this is it. Oh, no. Nope, that's not it. Bear with me 1 second, family. All right, got this in here. Okay, the one I want, I do not have. However, this will do. I had a video. Where is that? Actually, hold on. I can get this back in. We'll do it this way. Okay. Let me get queued up here. Where is that at? Where is it at? Is it this? Okay. Okay, I'm just making sure this is the right video. Okay, yeah. Okay. Y'all remember this sucker Coleman Hughes? The Coleman Hughes fella. That sucker. Well, I'm not sure how old this clip is. This might be an older clip. But they're talking about reparations. And for some reason, Coleman Hughes is a guest, which literally makes no sense. Because he's not entitled to reparations at all, but they put him up there to have an opinion. So listen to this.
And lastly, we do it at the level of millions, billions, even trillions of dollars. So we can't afford to do it.
All right, Coleman Hughes, let me bring you in here. You testified before Congress in 2019 against the idea of reparations. You said paying reparations to descendants of slavery would, quote, only divide the country further. And you thought it would insult Black Americans by putting a price on the suffering as well, and would make Black Americans like yourself victims without their consent.
He's a Latino, by the way.
I hope I captured that correctly, but you take it further. Make your case against.
So let me just make a distinction off the bat. I support reparations for redlining, right? Because there are many victims of redlining that are still with us. They're still alive. And Cornell, all the examples of successful reparations for other groups that you highlighted were examples of reparations given to directly the victims of these human rights abuses.
That's not actually true there, Coleman. Look at that hairline. Ooh, that hairline is a beast, ain't it? Anyway.
In their lifetimes or their immediate family members. That's why I support reparations for redlining paid directly to the victims, as they're doing in Evanston outside of Chicago. I make a distinction between that and reparations for slavery, which
these people know nothing about our history.
Ended in 1865. I know of no examples where groups are getting reparations for historical crimes that are over 150 years old.
Why not? Because they would have children that was just one generation removed. And when would they have passed? So that's you're talking that's not true, actually. No. And with the Japanese, for not everybody was living who was in the internment camps. Their descendants got paid. What are you talking about? Their offspring got paid. So to say, well, I've never seen that in America. Well, you've never seen it in America. I guess that's technically true because he wasn't living yet. However, well, yeah, he was, because that was 90 when they got paid. But yeah, I don't know how old he is or not. So maybe he wasn't, maybe he was. But in any event, he don't have no business talking about our business at all. And he's up here on a public forum discussing our issues that have nothing to do with him. And he's at opposition of us getting our reparations. There's no reason why Chuck Todd should have this dude on.
And unfortunately, the opportunity was tragically missed to pay it to the slaves themselves or their immediate families. But claims like this time out, right? And this is timed out. And let me say one more thing. Martin Luther King had a plan for addressing the legacy of slavery, which he laid out in his book, Why We Can't Wait. And he called it the Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged. The Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged was not a race-based policy. It was a class-based anti-poverty program that would benefit the Black poor and the white poor and the poor of all races. That's what I support in terms of addressing the legacy of slavery. That's what I feel is the wisest path forward for this country.
Let me follow up a little bit, Coleman, because it is interesting that there are some forms of specific areas where you believe a reparation of sorts should be put there. What
a reparation of
how do
sort?
you distinguish
a reparation of sort? I don't understand. Sister Miriam, I see you deleted bringing it back messages. What, did I miss something? Or was that a mistake? I didn't think they said nothing crazy. I didn't think they said nothing crazy. Did I miss something? Bringing it black. All right. Okay, so this dude here, the Coleman Cruise cat, this fella here on your screen, they'll put people up like this to speak on our behalf, knowing that they do not have our best interests at heart at all. Matter of fact, they have a disdain for our community. You understand what I'm saying? They have a disdain for our lineage. They have a disdain for the fact that we are owed reparations, and they're not. They're not the group that's going to fight to get it, but they do want to be part of the group to fight us not to get ours. And with that, I'll say, Coleman Hughes, man, you get one of those. Sambo. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, just one last little sound bite that I want to leave you with that is from a former president, Jimmy Carter, who was talking about one of these groups that says they're going to spend $100 million to uproot the Congressional Black Caucus. Not for our behalf, of course, but for their own benefit, because they're not over there doing enough to corral us young black voters in supporting causes that we have no clue on what's going on with. With that being said, listen to this.
And many Israelis don't want to know what is going on inside Palestine. It's a terrible human rights persecution that is far transcends what any outsider would imagine. And there are powerful political forces in America that prevents any objective analysis of the problem in the Holy Land. I think it's accurate to say that not a single member of Congress with whom I'm familiar would possibly speak out and call for Israel to withdraw to their legal boundaries or to publicize the plight of the Palestinians. And that is added on to by the very effective work of the American-Israeli group called AIPAC, which is performing its completely legitimate task of convincing Americans to support the policies of the Israeli government. And AIPAC is not dedicated to peace. They're dedicated to inducing the maximum support in America, in the White House, in the Congress, and in the public media.
And I think it's safe to say that we have probably seen that realistically play out now, have we not? Wow. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all once again for tuning in right here. I appreciate everybody tuning in this evening. If you are now watching the replay, you can hit the like button and share this out, for those who missed it with you. And I see Afro Troop TV, Angelica Lena, Ferocious, One Who Cares in the building. I see you. All right. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I see y'all up in the house. So, that APAC been around for a while, and they have flexed their power. That's for certain. Oh Lord! So I don't know why I almost feel like my sound getting janky over here. So hopefully it's not on your end. No, I don't like that. Put that up there. See if that helps. Okay. So with that being said, family, make sure to tune in Friday for the weekly wrap up. And it seems like I don't know. What he said was on point. Yeah, I think it was all right. The bringing it black. Yeah, I think bringing it black is all right. Oh yeah, no. Bringing it black was all right. No, it wasn't saying nothing crazy. And all right. So like I was saying with the with all of these different agendas going on around here, we are seeing for a fact that the Democrats absolutely do not have our best interests at heart at all. They are actively conjuring up and writing up policies and executing policies and agendas that basically seek to undermine everything about what our place is here in this country. And it is being done by the Democrats blatantly. And this is all of his appointees carrying out his bidding. So once again, Joe Biden using black faces like they did with the preachers to harm Black America. He's never stopped doing the very same thing that he's always done. And now he's back doing it again. And, it's unfortunate, but we got to leave the brain dead Biden sexual Negroes on the corner with the rest of the folks that are going to sleep for good.
And I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep for good. And I'm
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's good Lord. Oh, man. So, we have the folks that, say, well, hey, man, Kamala Harris, you guys just don't like women. You guys are trying to tear down the Democratic Party. You're trying to take the sledgehammer to it, and you're just trying to destroy it. Man, we were never on that plantation to begin with, so we can't stay. The actress, good old Julia Margulies, who thought that she was going to take her liberties If I can say so. No, you can't. And now you learn the hard way that you can't. Keep your mouth off us. And the policewoman, who again, some people would probably have saw that and thought that was a skit. No, it was real, and this woman is put on administrative leave while they figure out what is going on with her overzealous policing of an innocent man. So, you know, that and you're just putting the taser right in his back and holding it there. That's just evil, wicked, and hurtful and harmful and dangerous. And that woman needs to be taken off the streets ASAP. Coleman Hughes, the big waterhead coon. Boy, I tell you what, stay out of our business, mind your own. And on top of that, Dr. Oddface, you know, she obviously is a tether because she lacks a connection to our history and certain understandings, because she really believes and perceives that she can only communicate while trying to talk down to Black folks. That is a way, that's not our culture at all. So that tells me that she must come from a different culture, because just because you got you an education, that don't mean nothing over here. Like, this is America. These people be coming over here like, well, I went to this school, so I know you guys, all of you people are just so dumb. And I mean, maybe we should just make coloring books for you. I went to school, and so that's why I know what I'm talking about. So I'm sure that there will be some Biden sexual shills out there who will say, hey, this guy right there just wants to dismantle the party. I am looking out for our agenda alone. Foundational Black Americans have been ignored long enough. Let the benign neglect end. You understand what I'm saying? And for those of you who can't understand that we are not going to sit back, stay silent, not resist injustice, and make sure that the pedal stays to the metal about reparations until reparations is put in the hands of foundational Black Americans. If you believe that we are wrong, and even more so, that you look like us and believe we're wrong, and you think that we should be stopped, and because we're gonna tear up the building from the inside, and we're taking a sledgehammer to this and taking a sledgehammer to that. Well, I can tell you, I speak for myself. Beatzilla PDX official. Pretty sure I know I speak for the Beatzilla PDX official show. Pretty sure I speak for y'all in the chat. Grassroots and voices of New Black Media. I think it's pretty safe to say that I can speak for all parties involved when I say we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Family, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you can definitely do so by way of CashApp. And that's $BeatZillaPDX. That is CashApp, $BeatZillaPDX. Also, we have PayPal, which is Zilla Muzak. That is ZillaMuzak at PayPal. And with that being said, family, it is that time once again to understand it is a new day, and Biden's sexual shields, boy, oh boy, oh boy, We ain't come to play. Stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yeah. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.